Oh boy. Hey, Razor here in the chat. Zane has been popping off tonight.
That he has, cheering for his little brother. Oh boy.
Wait, is Zane younger or older? I don't remember.
Zane is younger, yes, much younger.
Ah. There we haven't. Speaking of younger.
I was about to say, I think the reason why Zane didn't compete last year was maybe, I think he may not have been old enough.
Age?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
no.
Psyduck.
Ay. But speaking of being old enough, we are now on 2000th atmosphere. LE. So sick of love songs. I think that's actually copyrighted. Here in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Brisbane. He is one of the Brisbane boys. He has been coached specifically by old mate Royan. I'm not sure if that's true, but they do hang out they do hang out together.
They do?
They do practice with each other. He is representing CranKy Ducklings. Feels so good to say that. He is Oreo.
One of the first players we signed. Oh god, our boy. And sporting in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Australian Terran representing Legacy Esports. Mainly known for being the roommate of Probe, it is RunaMoK.
I just remembered that again. Yeah. I wonder how many of these we can do. How many of these indirect indirect intros?
I was gonna say, how many of these can we get away with before?
Yeah. So we have RunaMoK, the roommate of Probe. We have Zane, the brother of Razorblader. We have Baby Marine, the brother of Rainer, or Vanya, if your eyes are like mine.
Oh god. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this series goes. Obviously, we missed out on game number 1. Oreo is up 1-0 in this series, just needs one more to close this out. And there may be some people watching who are more old school fans of the Oceanic region and who are like, hey, who is Oreo? Oreo is a relatively new face. He debuted in 2019 by taking down Blisk, by taking down Peppy, and right now, currently, Oreo stands as the best Zerg player in all of Australia. And oh boy, there's a reason why he claims that title. There's a reason why we were talking about, you know, how he's favored to move on to the qualifying match, maybe even be the one to take down Zane.
And it's looking very, very possible here. I believe the last Zerg player remaining. Well, no, Chappie's also hanging around.
True.
Currently up against Starduck. No offense, Chappie.
Feels bad, man. We love you, Chappie. And speaking of, Raza is letting us know. Apparently, Zane is the older brother of Razorblader. Oh.
But still too young to compete.
Still, how does that work? That's the narrative that's what we're gonna say now. The older brother, but he was too young to compete. It's like, what? But sticking with it. I love it. Oh god. All right. Here we go. And again, oh my god. Meanwhile, RunaMoK, nice start. He does pick off a creep tumor.
Yeah, whatever you can do with your early game Reaper, you're not going to be able to get as good of a scout most of the time as you'd like as a Terran player. So, you know, find different uses for them. Try to keep your Reaper alive, of course. KD8 charge can be invaluable when it comes to crowd control and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Boy, and we'll see how this plays out. Again, I guess I may as well talk a little bit about it. Oreo has been practicing a lot versus Terran. He has been working a lot on his late game lurker style against Terran as well, much to a lot of players' dismay. To great effect, but we'll see if the game lasts that long. Again, to me, RunaMoK doesn't necessarily feel like the player who wants to go into those later stages of the game, even though, to be fair, he did open up with a faster TC.
Yeah, trying to be a lot more economic here, but of course, you don't need to go into late game after opening up economic. This could just be for some kind of 1-1 or even 2-2 push.
Yeah.
I like the fake out there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful fake out. He started Cloak when the Overlord came in, so it looks like he's going for Cloak Banshees. Meanwhile, really, he's going for Ravens, but he does have to keep these Hellions alive.
And he does keep most of them alive. Such a tight defense coming out from Oreo here. Really keep making sure that his queens aren't isolated, can't be targeted down, and I feel like I might have kind of glossed over this. I was like, oh yeah, I like the fake out that RunaMoK is doing. He went for a Raven opening.
Yeah.
I have not seen that since Hut did it last year.
Yeah. So this has become a little bit more popular. I know Special and TY have done this every now and then in like a best of 5 series. Ideally, this is used to clear creep. So you get a Raven, you don't necessarily use it for harass, but you have it with all these Hellions, and you can clear creep extremely well with it. Of course, you do have to make sure you keep your Hellions alive to pull this off.
And of course, it does lend itself very, very well to timing-based strategies.
True.
You want to make sure that the Zerg opponent has as little map vision, as little map control as possible, so that you actually have some time and you actually have some space to set up all your tanks, right? Make sure they can't get sieged up without getting surrounded.
Yeah, definitely, and already so much creep is just evaporating here for Oreo. Oreo really having a hard time to fend off these Hellions. Meanwhile, Oreo actually going for his upgrades here, going for Baneling speed, so sticking with Ling Bane for now, hasn't thrown down a Spire or a Hydroden or anything like that.
Yeah, honestly, again, it's just about the bread and butter for defending against turn like this. We'll see if Oreo is a little bit more... If he's going to play this out a little bit more Dark-esque in a way, if he just goes straight into Ling Bane into Hive. He's being a little bit greedy with his expansions, but...
Look, I mean,
he can hold them.
Right now, he has no threat of losing the expansions, right? Like, what a Hellion's going to do? Meanwhile, ooh, a bit of a nice round here with the Lings and the Queens. Does get one of the Hellions.
And the Raven goes down. The most valuable unit for RunaMoK right now, at least when it comes to his creep clearing force. And Oreo, he feels free enough. He isn't threatened anymore. He can just continue to spread out his creep. He has the... Well, I don't want to say he has the map control, but he is still fighting for the map control.
Oh yeah, definitely, that he is. And he's getting away with his bases as well. I was curious as well if he was going to go for that dark style, going straight into those ultras, as he does get us around on a lot of these Hellions, does clean the majority of them up. And we see, no, it's not for ultras. He is in fact still going for those lurkers that I was talking about earlier.
Getting a couple of flashbacks right now, but yeah, one of the most effective styles you can go for in ZVT, especially if your turn opponent gives you as much time as this.
Yeah, and what I will say, and this is what makes Oreo unique in our scene, is that he's kind of the only player who really favors this style. Like, especially in Southeast Asia, like Ender, Miyomika, Demi, they don't do this. They don't go for lurkers in ZVT. We know Demi loves his... Yeah, they love their Muta play, or even Roach Ravager play earlier on. So this is very unique to Oreo, and it does mean that, you know, these players may not have that much practice against it.
Well, looking at the unit compositions right now, Light, I would have to guess that that's true. RunaMoK is still sticking to Marine Tank, which is one of the most potent unit compositions you can get as a Terran player in the TvZ, but it very, very quickly loses steam when the lurkers come out.
Yeah, definitely. Oh boy.
Basically gets countered by the lurkers.
It can be. I mean, to be fair, Oreo still has a ways to go to really get those insane lurkers. Mainly the upgrades, right? Like Hive still needs to finish up, and then he has to wait for lurker range and lurker burrow to finish up as well. So RunaMoK has some time. He has some time before Oreo gets that ideal endgame army.
And speaking of time, I just realized Oreo went for a 7.5 minute Hive timing or something like that. Insanely quick. RunaMoK should be able to see it with his drop here. Not quite.
Yeah, he doesn't see the Hive. He doesn't see the tech quite yet. For all he knows, his opponent is going for ultras, right? Like, he has no idea.
Really, it's not. But this nice little position you can utilize. The Lings of Oreo aren't quite the best it can be right now. RunaMoK should be getting some eyes on tech. No, not quite.
Oh, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we do have another double drop at the 4th base of Oreo. The Queens do fall, and now do a couple of these drones. I say a couple, a lot actually.
Yeah, quite a bit. Well, maybe that's for the best. Oreo, despite losing 9 drones, he is on 87 workers.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, I love what RunaMoK's doing, because this is what you need to do. When your opponent is skipping anti-air for this long with no mutas and no hydras, you need to drop as much as possible. And now here comes the main attack. Oh my god, he's on siege. Ooh, but Oreo doesn't pounce on the army.
Yeah, he sees how many Marines RunaMoK has right now. He knows how defensive that position is for the Terran player. Does not want to jump on top of that without his lurkers at the very least. Trying to burrow right now, but doesn't quite have adaptive talents yet. Does take a little bit of time. He isolates the Marines. Very well done.
Looks like all these Marines are going to be picked off. Meanwhile, there are 3 tanks, but those tanks, mate, they look pretty isolated. They don't really have too much buffer. It looks like he does land the Marines, though, to protect them.
They don't have much of a buffer, but they have
these drops.
Very, very good cover. The drops. Oh, I can't believe he missed that. 17 more workers go down for Oreo.
Yeah.
He had a very good worker advantage, but now it is barely an advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Like, RunaMoK is tearing Oreo apart with these drops, dealing so much economic damage. Oreo, earlier you were talking about his worker count. Now they are even in those workers, and Oreo, he's struggling to remax.
He really is. Just about spent his entire bank. RunaMoK finding the best timing of his life right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Liberators finally show up. Liberators being a key unit to go against these Lurkers. Ooh, meanwhile, the Lurker Spines do go off. A lot of Marines are going down.
Yeah, you really do still have to be careful about the Lurkers, though. Liberators countered them so well, but Marines do not, funnily enough.
Yeah, no, they do not. But now this newest base here of Oreo is under threat. He just evacuates, he expands over to the north instead. He's like, you know what? You can take that base. But again, like, Oreo is still so vulnerable from these drops. Like, imagine if RunaMoK just picks up and goes into the main or something. Like, oh, God.
Which is why he's trying to go for a Nidus.
Aye.
A little questionable, but
yeah, double Nidus actually. Yeah. Meanwhile,
just
Oreo,
in case one of them goes down.
Yeah, he's trying to set up defensively for them. He does have a lot of lurkers. He barely has any banelings though, and that's what I'm really concerned about. RunaMoK is trying to push up the ramp into the lurkers though.
Oreo definitely being picked apart over here. Really unsure where he wants to position where he wants to borrow his lurkers. Do we go into main base for the drop, or do we go for the ramp here in case RunaMoK pushes up? To be fair, kind of a damn do you do, damn do you don't position right now with the insane amount of momentum RunaMoK has behind him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these lurkers are trading well, they're trading efficiently, but there's just so many Marines here, and there are not enough lurkers. Now the rest of the bases are under threat.
And not just from Oreo's side, as a couple of these lurkers did manage to pop out. They're starting to camp the production. If Oreo can prevent the production from getting up, then maybe there's a chance, but I'm just looking at the army supply right now. Like, there is nothing defending Oreo's bases right now. RunaMoK at any point can lift up the buildings, continue to produce at a different location. I think we're getting an ace match.
Exactly. Like, oh my God, all these bases are forfeits of Oreo. Oreo essentially on 2 bases remaining. He does move forward with his lurkers, but again, the tanks, the Liberators are just shelling away, and everything across the map, it looks like it did get cleaned up.
It's a lot of bio.
Exactly.
GG's called, and RunaMoK, RunaPog, if you will, takes it to the ace match.
Oh yeah. RunaPog's in the chat, mate, as RunaMoK ties up the series. Oh boy, things are getting dicey here, mate. The ace match. No lower bracket. No losers bracket.
No lower bracket today.
Oh boy.
You get knocked out here, you have to come back tomorrow. Less than 24 hours. That's not enough time.
Not enough time at all. Meanwhile, we did get confirmation. Starduck did 2-0 Chappie, and Ranger and Starduck are in that qualifying match.
Oh,
that's a juicy PvP, mate. Oh my God.
It is a very juicy PvP. Bit of a shame that it seems like we are gonna miss that. We'll follow up this series with Zane versus our winner here, but as I quickly double check the stream here.
Yes, Renegade is currently casting the lower qualifying match, that PvP between Ranger and Starduck. Honestly, it's very exciting just because Starduck, he loves playing PvP. He actually has he has a lot of cheeky builds, and he can definitely take a series off of Ranger. But at the same time, Ranger beating Pez 3 times in a row now in less than a week, like, that's scary.
Very scary. Pez, of course, well, wait, what? God damn it, Oreo. I'm alt tabbing to look at brackets and stuff. I don't want to have another.
Oh God, it's all good. It's all good.
Tis all good. In the end, what were we saying? Oh yeah, Pez definitely was probably the contender. You know, after Probe announced he was going to go on hiatus, you know, he wasn't even sure. He thought he might legitimately retire. It's it's really cool that he has found his he has sort of refound some passion, or sort of found a spark once again to compete in StarCraft 2. But there was a time after DreamHack Winter last year where Probe just thought, you know, I really don't know if I want to continue competing in StarCraft 2. I might actually retire. And in that time, there was a massive power vacuum. I think Pez emerged as the top Australian Protoss player for a while. So for Ranger to already take him out, that's Starduck definitely has a lot to has some pretty big boots to fill.
Definitely. I highly recommend everyone to check out Renegade's stream, who is currently casting that PvP between Ranger and Starduck. Of course, we'd love to cheer for our boy, but we have one of our own boys right here.
Indeed, we do. Here in the top left-hand corner map, Sonic, all the way in the top left-hand corner, the blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Brisbane, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He is gonna make his opponent say, uh-oh, get your yos in the chat. He is Oreo.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh my god, going for a proxy. But will it get scouted? We have the Australian Terran. He's purple, representing Legacy Esports. It is RunaMoK. And he cancelled.
Yeah. Well,
and the second SCV is coming back home. RunaMoK wanted to start off with a bang, or end it with a bang, with a proxy Rax, but it did get scouted, was immediately denied, and now RunaMoK has to switch gears.
That's the thing about Oreos, isn't it? They are vigilant. I'm not sure where I was going with that.
They dunk, mate.
They dunk.
They twist. They lick.
They lick your proxies right out the map.
Sure, yeah.
Wait, actually, do Oreos do that? I'll be very concerned.
They do.
If they're the ones doing the twisting and the licking and the dunking.
Oh boy. Also, I'm just waiting for the stream. I'm waiting for the stream to catch up for my copy pasta. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, you took a mental note of when I actually said that on in-game time.
Oh boy. And we'll see if RunaMoK can recover. To be fair, it isn't the biggest of deals, right? Like, it's not like the Raxes were halfway done before he was forced to cancel or anything like that. It was very early on. So yeah, sure, he did lose a couple of resources here and there, but he can definitely come back from this.
Yeah, it's not the most committed. It's not the most committed thing in the world. Going for a single barracks like that. Oreo actually taking a very forward third.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised here. Oreo looking to be a little bit more aggressive in this series.
I feel like on Romanticide, of all maps, this is the biggest indication that the Zerg player is going to go aggressive. You straight up just are giving up your defensive position to get the start base. Should be seeing a lot coming out from Oreo, unit-wise.
Yeah, we should. I wouldn't be surprised if he does decide to go for some. I mean, if he does decide to go for like a Road Trafficker Queen push, we'll see. If this was a ZVP, I would say for certain, but
yeah, it's just gonna be Road Trafficker without Queens this time. In the ZVT, RunaMoK going for a Ghost Academy already?
What? What?
Oh.
Okay.
So we have seen this a couple of times in the past where the Terran player will rush a Ghost Academy so they can get some snipes on Queens, but this is coming out from a failed proxy Rax. I'm not sure if at first he's completely out of his mind.
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try again, right? Like, as you said, we have seen like Hellbat Ghost pushes, for example, where like the Hellbats buffer for the Lings and the Ghosts snipe the Queens, and then you are able to kind of snowball from there. So right now it's on Oreo to scout what is coming his way, because again, this is very unorthodox. Oreo needs to scout this. He needs to see this coming.
He has some Pneumatized Carapace Light. The Marine is shooting the Overlord Light. The Overlord is on the opposite side of the Ghost Academy line. A second Marine joins line. A Viking takes it out line.
The Overlord goes down. The Ghost Academy does not get scattered. We have ghosts on the way, papi, and Oreo has no idea. Doesn't matter though. That's the question.
That's a pretty massive question. Because funnily enough, it is pretty easy to deny these snipes if you have enough lings.
Mm-hmm.
And Oreo's starting to produce more and more of them.
Yeah, that he is. Meanwhile, the Hellions are across the map. Here we go. The armory is being thrown down for those Hellbats. Ooh, the Hellions, they do reveal themselves for now. He has to make sure he does keep them alive. Has to be careful not to get surrounded.
We'll be able to clear out a little bit of creep here and there, though. If he so chooses to go that direction.
Definitely, and you know what? Oreo is none the wiser. He's still droning up. He does have a decent amount of lings, but again, I believe he... Oh god, no, he does not have a Baneling Nest. Sorry, he does have a Baneling Nest. I did see it earlier. He needs to morph in a couple of Banelings. He needs those Banelings to help defend against those Hellbats and eventually get those lings on top of those ghosts.
Yeah, I know Banelings aren't necessarily favored against Hellbats, but they're way more effective than Zerglings are.
Yeah, exactly. You need those Banelings. There we go. 4 Banelings. 5 Banelings are on the way. This is beautiful. This is great. But here comes the push. The Banelings aren't ready.
But the ghosts are. They're getting in position right now. And they're waiting to see any of these stray queens. Already one of them does get sniped. Oh, but it goes very far forward.
Oh my god, the
does
Banelings
not get to deny one of the snipes, though.
Oh, he doesn't, but you know what? The Banelings do find some connections, and maybe that's good enough as the Hellbats are falling. Ooh, the Medevac does get taken out as well. I believe that was the Viking, and there's only one ghost remaining. Oreo holds.
And doesn't have enough energy. Yeah, Oreo. Nicely done. GG?
GG.
Was that his entire game plan?
Yep.
GG. Oreo is going to be your final player advancing to the qualifying match, going up against Zane in a PvZ.
Mate, I was worried for a moment there, man. my heart can't take it. Oh god, Oreo, please. But here we go. As you said, Oreo is up against Zane. Oh my.
The young older brother of a Razor Blader. It's gonna be his title from now on.